All right. How you guys doing on today? I am James Bar Judah. This is Shed Some Light. Today we're going to be looking into corruption in the Child Protective Services. Now, don't get me wrong, Child Protective Services does do an awesome job, and when they get it right, when they are not operating on fear, when they are not trying to cover up their own mistakes, when they are when they do their due diligence, not just look at a piece of paper and say this is what it is, but they actually do their team meetings, the family meetings, when they make their word to be true, to say that their main goal is to reunify the children with their parents. Great. But when they are not, which I am about to show several examples of this, that's where the corruption lies, and they do whatever it is that they can do with possible to make the life miserable of the parent who doesn't want to stand for that. They twist words, even if the parent is doing what it is necessary, or even on their own, to try to appease the powers that be. Even if they get good reports from those counselors and whatever and whatnot, the county workers, because they know the case in which they are dealing with, they made a whoopsie. And they know that if they were to go back and say, oops, we made a mistake, then they would have repercussions. It's all about liability. It's all about money. It even dwells into child trafficking. So let's go ahead and look into this video here. First from ABC 5. This is out of another state. I'm pretty sure that they will say the name here. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Is legally kidnapping their children.
Those parents, along with a state senator, announced a new lawsuit today saying that changes need to be made. So Josh Rosenthal was there, and he's here now with more details. Josh?
So, Leah, this lawsuit was filed by a parent who claims he lost his children for 22 months, all because of a single spanking. Then, while trying to get his kids back, he noticed he was far from alone. Dwight Mitchell says he didn't see his 3 sons for close to 2 years, and he says it's all because of false allegations of abuse.
Without a doubt, this has been the most horrific experience of our life.
His case is complex, but in a nutshell, it stems from a spanking incident in 2014, during which Mitchell maintains he was merely disciplining his child, not abusing him. He alleges that unconstitutionally vague and overbroad child protection laws allowed the Minnesota Department of Human Services and Dakota County Social Services to take his kids away from him based solely on allegations and social worker discretion.
The state of Minnesota will provide you with a lawyer and a jury trial for stealing a pack of chewing gum, but will give you neither when they take away your child forever.
In addition to filing a lawsuit, Mitchell started a group called Stop Child Protection Services from Legally Kidnapping. He now has the support of other parents and lawyers.
There are individuals behind me. They are here based on their situations and their separate cases.
And State Senator Andrew Matthews said it's clear something needs to change.
After story after story after story, this is no longer something that can have a blind eye turned to.
The group also contends that African American children are 5 times more likely to be removed from their homes than Caucasian children, as was the case with Mitchell's family.
The institution charged to look after the health, safety, and welfare of innocent children had in fact become the child abusers for me.
This group has a long list of things they want to see happen. That includes both changes in law as well as changes in the judicial process. I did reach out to both the Department of Human Services as well as Dakota County Social Services. DHS said we are not.
All right. So this gentleman here had his children removed from the home for disciplining them. Now, again, as I stated previously, they misconstrue, misinterpretate, and make your words or any other person's words fit their agenda. If their desire is to take your child from your home, that is exactly what they're going to do. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. If they want them, they're going to get them. How sad of a world do we live in where they are now legally kidnapping children? People are from all over the 50 states are saying similar stories to what's going on here with this gentleman here. But there's no report on this. There's no mass media coverage of this. Why? Why is that? Why are the whistleblowers that have spoken out, why is their story not on the mainstream? Why are we not doing more about this? Let's watch one other video here.
Terrible things that happened to these children were continuing to happen, but I don't think that they were able to rise above the corruption.
To say that our sources are disappointed would be an understatement. They are furious with the San Bernardino County Grand Jury.
I would have liked to think that they would have made changes to prevent other children from dying. How many other kids have to die?
For nearly a year, we've been reporting on children who were left in abusive homes despite repeated warnings. Some children were severely injured. Others were tortured and killed. The grand jury report never mentions those children. It does state the department has serious problems with documentation, communication, a high employee turnover rate, social workers dealing with too many caseloads, and lack of training.
The fact that they didn't take those children out of their home and the images of those children's dead bodies, where's the outrage?
Angela Valles is running for a seat on the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors. She says she's doing it because she is tired of the corruption in San Bernardino County and tired that county officials refuse to take responsibility.
The grand jury substantiated everything in your report. It substantiated all of the whistleblowers' claims, and yet nothing's being done. All the other supervisors are afraid to come out and say something about it, but I'm not. I'm willing to take on the status quo in the establishment.
Valles is calling for the resignation of Marlene Hagan, the director of San Bernardino CFS, and even the county's CEO.
I'm going to call for the director of Children Family Services, Marlene Hagan, for her resignation or for her to be terminated immediately. And if Greg Devereaux doesn't do his job, Gina, I'll be back asking for his resignation.
We spoke with State Attorney General Kamala Harris, who is now investigating San Bernardino CFS. This is her message to the residents of San Bernardino.
If you have any information about those agencies falling short of their duty, much less harming children, tell us, because we are concerned and we're paying attention and we're prepared to prosecute.
Meanwhile, our whistleblowers say they'll continue to report gross negligence, and they're considering revealing their identities.
I don't think that we're going to stop. Children are still dying, I can tell you that.
Our sources say San Bernardino social workers are still dealing with a tremendous caseload. We've been told some social workers have up to 90 cases. The recommended amount, no more than 17. I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
Terrible things that happened to these.
All right. So we have an understanding that these social workers do have a tremendous caseload. And because they have a tremendous caseload, they can't give the direct attention that is needed to everyone. So they have to go by gut feeling or intuition or whatever it may be, pre misconceptions about ethnicities and whatever else might be in the personal prejudices. It is then left up to the individual to say, okay, well, I have 100 cases in my case file. I have to get all of these done because there's guaranteed to be 100 more. So let me just skim through each one, whatever seems to be the harshest of them. Let's take the kids. I don't know exactly how the process is, but that's kind of what it seems like to be to me. Now, again, please don't get me wrong. I know that there are cases out there where children are literally being abused and hurt and harmed. We saw some pictures there, but even then, that was at the fault of CPS. These children were in the homes of foster cares. And let me put this out there too. There are amazing foster parents out there who do grand jobs with the children that are in their care. But then there are those who are just as much as scumbags as the, Lord forgive me, but they do more hurt and harm to these young babies than their birth parents would have ever done. But yet these children have been removed from a loving, caring parent home just because of some inclination. Yes, the individual might have done a wrong, but was it at the purpose to intentionally to be an abuser? Or did CFS just look at it, glance at the paper, oh well, this guy's a black guy, he fits the description, move it along, of course we're taking the kids. Now there's all kind of ins and outs to every story, two sides to every story. I encourage people to go and look at information for themselves and look at it, especially in San Bernardino County. I implore you, Kamala Harris, if this is what you are doing, I pray that you are continuing to do this, because the corruption is still running rampant. They say that they are for the children, but how can you say that you are for the children and then have them to be in a home for months, years, multiple years, but then say we're going to move them from this home? We're going to rip them from what they know, what they're comfortable with, and place them into another home. The child, they don't think of these children as people. They don't think of them as thinking, cognitive, feeling young beings. And to get away with that, to help them sleep better at night, what do? What do they say? Oh, they're young. They'll still have time to get over it. They'll be able to acclimate. What kind of thought process is that to have? And then they expect the parent or the loving, caring guardian, foster parent to remain calm while they look into the eyes of their children, look into the eyes of their foster child, and know and can be able to look into their face and say, and see that they are distraught. That when they have a visitation with them, however it may be, the child is saying to the parent or to the foster parent, hey, is looking into them and looking to their eyes and saying, I want to go home. When can I go home? Do we think that they're just saying that to say that? Or is that real? Or do they even take that into consideration? I doubt it. If you can do backwater, underhanded, secret, behind closed doors deals and think you are doing a wondrous thing, but yet are blind and oblivious to the emotional effects that you are having on these children, I question your moral stability. But let me not get too far ahead of myself. These videos that I watch in here are kind of hitting close to the vest. I appreciate you again for coming along. My name again is James Bar Judah. This is Shed Some Light. Hopefully you'll come along again next time. I appreciate you. I'm out.